With Carolla segment tonight, as you may know, President Obama wants to raise the minimum wage to $9 an hour.
Today, a full-time worker making the minimum wage earns $14,500 a year, even with the tax relief we put in place. A family with 2 kids that earns the minimum wage still lives below the poverty line.
And joining us now to react to that and the Russian meteor frenzy, our pal Adam Carolla is in Los Angeles tonight. Now, since you were denied a job at Taco Bell, which I assume would have paid minimum wage, you have some expertise in this minimum wage deal, correct?
Yes. And first, speaking of Obama and Woods golfing together, the guy I feel sorry for is the old white racist caddy who has to go out with them.
Why? Why would you feel sorry? He gets signatures from both of them. The caddy does. He can sell those.
Happy. That old Rusty, that old caddy. Now that caddy's not going to be happy, especially if he's a racist. But yes, I applied at Taco Bell. I was rejected at Taco Bell. I then put an application at McDonald's, and they accepted me for $2.90 an hour, and I worked the grill for that money, and I hated every second of it, and it was good, because if I loved it and I was getting rich, I would still be there. And by the way, the point that everyone is missing in Obama's speech is not raising the minimum wage, it's what is the family who's making minimum wage, what are they doing having 2 kids? That's insane. You can't have 2 kids when you make minimum wage. And by the way, who's not paying their fair share?
Well,
I would argue the people that are making minimum wage and having 2 kids and sending those kids to our schools and using our roads and everything else aren't paying their fair share.
I'm going to be controversial as always. If you're willing to work hard, you're not going to make minimum wage. If you want to paint a house, and there's a lot of things you can do, drive a cab, you're not going to be making it. So all of this is hyperbole, as always is. But let's go to
But you're supposed to work minimum wage in high school and then work your way through to a better job.
If you raise it to 9, then fewer kids will be able to work or whatever. They gotta stair step it. But if you're willing to work hard here, you're not going to make minimum wage. You're going to make more. All right, let's go to Russia.
Also,
all right,
let me just say this. It's like Obama saying we need to hollow out barbells so they're easier to lift. There's supposed to be resistance in life. You're supposed to be uncomfortable
You're supposed to
working
work
at
your
McDonald's.
Way out. Right, I did. You were.
Right.
I worked at Carvel for minimum wage. You worked at McDonald's. Okay, I got to get to Russia. Big meteor that scared everybody except Putin. As soon as Putin saw the meteor come, he took his shirt off and said, all right, well, what do you got? All right, that was Putin. But everybody else was scared. Were you scared, Carolla, when you saw this?
Well, I was a little. Well, first off, this proves a theory that I've always had, which is God hates Russia, number one. Number 2, I've seen 2,000 movies about meteors hitting our planet, and every single time there's a bunch of guys from NASA who are meeting with a bunch of guys inside of Cheyenne Mountain saying, gentlemen, we have 72 hours before this thing impacts. How come we didn't know this thing was coming? And then I found out they were working on an early warning detection system, and they're going to build it in Hawaii. And
yeah, so
I don't like stuff built in Hawaii.
Well,
build it in Cleveland. I want to get some work out of these people.
I don't think we have to worry about it here in the United States because Will Smith would be in that jet immediately, and he would divert that meteor. So we're not going to have to worry. But, you know, in Russia, they're not as, although they should be with all the money they spent on that stuff, they should have known it was coming. But I don't think you can do anything much about it, Carolla. If the meteor is coming, it's coming, man. That's it.
Yeah. I always just feel bad for the people who have, like, grandparents and great-grandparents who survived Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because they always go, it hit with 30 times the impact of Hiroshima or Nagasaki. And I feel like, come on, why are you tarnishing Grandpa's legacy? He's dead, he was incinerated, and now you're saying, like, this is nothing? They should stop using that. But it hit in the middle of nowhere.
But if it did hit Moscow or something, because about 1,200 people were hurt as it is, and it was way out in the middle of nowhere. All right, Carolla, as always, thank you.